Hey, what's up, everybody? Uh, what's up, Large Marge, Rick, uh, Pudgy, Broadford? Hey, guys. Is everybody lurkers? Is everybody rested from the long weekend or more tired from the long weekend? I got off the phone with Aaron a little bit ago, and we were both saying we were actually kind of more tired from the weekend. We did a lot of riding. I don't know. Rick's 90-mile comment. Let me adjust. My camera's crooked. This is a cheap tripod, and I just tried to reset it up. Kind of annoys me, but this might be the last time I'm streaming from up here since the new computer's on its way. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Patrick? Oh, hey, what's up, Farley? Roger, how's it going? Yeah, Dylan. Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, like I was saying, we're actually kind of more tired from the weekend than we are rested, but also my weekend was really backloaded. Friday and Saturday were really chill. Friday evening, I just hung out with Large and Funny Brad and Aaron. We just did a little work on her project and ate some food and had a couple beers over at her place. It was so chilly here, we actually had a fire in her fireplace that night. Saturday was rainy. I mostly did work around here and then just hung out with Aaron. But then Sunday did the Yeti ride and then rode all day with friends. And Saturday, or yesterday, we rode all the way up to Cleveland. So, yeah, kind of a bunch of beers and riding at the second half of the weekend for us. So, hey, what's up, Nicholas? Hey, what's up, Robin? Shout out to the lurkers. Oh, Rick said they had rain every day but Monday. Yeah, Monday was beautiful here, but Sunday actually turned into a pretty decent day as well. It wasn't supposed to be. Um, I got backloaded this weekend. Yeah, so yeah, yeah. Friday and Saturday. Did Friday? No, I didn't ride on Friday either because Friday was kind of, yeah, Friday was cold and rainy. Yeah, Broadford said cold rain all weekend there. Yeah, I figured with Rick because I think you kind of get the weather that we get, but just usually about a day delayed, long as it keeps moving in the regular pattern. But I actually have a Great Lakes hazy tonight. They had them at the drive-through. Great Lakes finally put out a hazy after all this time. It's not looking all. I guess it's a little hazy. Let's see, stir it up. Patrick said he managed some good rides on Sunday and Monday. Did I already say that? So Farley's heading back into work. I'm trying to remember, Farley, because this was a while ago. Are you the one who asked me early on if you could listen to the streams at work if they were um, work friendly enough or not? I can't remember if that was you now, but Farley, someone had typed a comment asking that, and I was like, till about 10 o'clock, depends on how much we're drinking. But Pudgy said Hazecraft has been around for a few years. I can't believe I haven't seen it then, because Great Lakes is such a local beer here. So, huh? I just missed it, or maybe the places I go haven't carried it. The drive-through across this. So Rick asked if you could use your bike at the drive-through. The drive-through across the street from me is totally cool with it. Otis goes through on his bike. I always just walk over because it literally is right across the street. But I have come through on my bike before, and they don't care. I've never understood that whole drive-through thing about like safety. You can't walk up to a drive-through or ride your bike through a drive-through at like corporate chains. That seems like the stupidest thing in the world to me. Why? Wait, someone in a car. Did we talk about this before? It seems like we have. If not, I've talked about it with friends. You know, someone on a bike, you could see what they're doing. Someone walking, you could any a car. Someone in a car could have anything in there, right? I don't understand why that's a deal, especially with COVID. Like, there's one day I walked over to one of the chain joints right here when I needed a quick lunch, and the lobby was locked, and it hadn't been. You were able to go in and pick up at the counter, and I'm like, so now I have to go home, get in my car and drive one block, sit there, have a car start up, sit there idling, causing pollution when I could have just got in line and walked up to the window. I don't get it, but yeah. Farley said that was not him. Okay. I can't remember who that was. Someone asked if they could listen to this stream because they worked a third shift job. And, well, maybe it was second shift, right? Or because that would be, depends on where you work. When I worked at Boston Mills third shift, we were 11 to 7 at night. So Rusty said he was out single speeding this weekend. And then Rick said his goal is to make this stream X-rated. How? Pudgy said he's been buying it for a while. Huh, yeah. It just depends on what they buy at the places you regularly frequent then, you know. The Great Lakes beer, that is. Not super hazy, but it's tasty. It's kind of exactly what I'd expect from Great Lakes. It's not extreme, but it's decent, so... So Dylan's talking about the drive-through concept, and he said there's so much car culture wrapped up in that. Check out the YouTube channel, Not Just Bikes, for some illuminating infrastructure knowledge. Yeah, I'll check that out. Strong Towns is another one of my favorite ones. The guy who founded Strong Towns wrote a great book. It's not all about cycling, but it's just about, excuse me, up until like about the 1950s, cities were the same design that had been worked out over thousands of years since civilization started. All of a sudden, we took this crazy U-turn or left turn, whatever you'd want to call it, to trying to design a model that had always worked for something else, and it kind of, well, wrecked the city. Detroit being the first example of that, and then all of us copying their example. So, very interesting too. So. Obsolescence, hey, what's up, man? He said they can track a license plate in a car, not on a bike if there's a robbery. That's true, but you could walk into the restaurant and rob the place, right? And take off running on foot. I mean, so I get that, but it's also kind of ridiculous because, yeah, in normal times you could walk into a restaurant and rob with a gun. They don't know where you're going. Yep, Rusty was just saying how, yeah, automobiles first is just the mentality. I was thinking of that today. I went to Home Depot because I was going to finish restaining the fire escapes out back, and I'm redoing my shower in the basement. Just needed a bunch of stuff that you are only going to be able to get from a corporate place like Home Depot anyways. And I was just thinking of like when you're walking with your cart, how annoyed every driver seems if you make them wait for you to cross the road. And I'm just like, you're just sitting in a car. I'm pushing a cart with, and also with stuff for the raised bed, like 100 pounds of soil and the stuff I need to, you know, I don't know. But it just shows that the car mentality, everyone thinks your rights are when you're in the car, you know. You have more rights than everybody else. So. How Dylan said that YouTube channel actually did a multi-part series on Strong Towns. Awesome. Yeah. I'll check that out. I'm surprised. I actually should write that down right now. I think one of you guys shared some of that in the Discord, but my problem is sometimes if I don't click over to it right away and I jump around in there, I forgot to come back to it. So. How Rusty said City Beautiful. I need to subscribe to them, but I've watched a bunch of their videos, City Beautiful, and they're really interesting. Kind of the whole same concept. What's up, JMZ? Rick. That was part of my motivation is a couple people might be staying here and or will be staying here, and like I said, the basement shower and situation down there is fine for me, but like I said, I built that temporarily when I moved here, and it's definitely in need of an upgrade, cleaned up and upgraded. I have, you know, it's classic where I have vice grips to turn the hot water on now as the knob broke off a long time ago, and it's like, you know what? Maybe I buy the nicer shower set and everything and make this more of a permanent structure since it's what I use, you know. How Rusty said, don't get him started on drivers' rights before cyclists. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's always like that. I mean, since we built this culture of the suburb, everyone who sits in a car believes that they have more rights than everyone else, and it's not true. you know. Anyways, jump into some of the other drink picks before we get on full off rants, what everyone else is doing, and then I think everyone's dropped a bunch of bike picks over the weekend. It would be cool to show some of those. I haven't posted anything from our Cleveland trip because I only shot film on the Cleveland trip. I brought some color film just to mess around with. Shot tons of video, obviously, haven't edited it yet. And then, but I do have pictures from the Yeti ride where I got to meet a number of people in person. Some that I've met before, but some that I actually have not. Well, in passing, I guess. But it was cool to be able to actually chat with everyone for, out on that ride. So, Roger Hart is drinking a Yellow Springs Riding Leisurely Vienna Lager. If anyone saw Traveling Through's latest video, it just came out today. He actually just hit the Little Miami Trail. So, I don't know if he must have went through Yellow Springs on his way to Xenia, right? Before he started heading south. But his video ends when he's kind of on the Little Miami Trail. Rusty is drinking an Outer Range. Open that full size. Outer Range. I can't read what the beer is. Oh, is that label underneath from Phil's Cookies? Is that the cookie fondo that Rick. Ah, man, that's messed up, Rusty. He was just saying how a tow truck driver ran a light and killed a cyclist and injured 4 more. Yeah, cookie fondo. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, that's the term I was looking for. Yeah, traveling through. I was curious. I mean, if also, which I would understand, traveling across the country. I know we'd all talked about like, hey, hit me up if you run through here. And before he left, he was originally planning on coming through Northeast Ohio, and I'm like, hey, hit me up if you want, and we could maybe join you on the Towpath for a little while or whatever it may be. But I also wonder if he just really likes traveling at his own pace, and he's worried if he reaches out to people, then changes plans, because he's changed his route a number of times. I would just guess that he probably doesn't want to worry about letting people down, and he just wants to also stay on his own schedule, which can't blame him for. There's Farley. He's drinking his coffee because he said he's finally going back to work, like he mentioned in the chat there. How is that, Pudgy? Pineapple space cake. Brewed with pineapple. I'm trying to think if I've had an IPA with pineapple. I know I've had beer with pineapple. Oh, what's up, Patrick? How's it going? What is it? I actually don't know. You guys both said the waffle stomp. I don't know what that means. Is that just what I think is some kind of kick a car door in type thing that I would do? Oh, the white bike. The ghost bike is what Rick's talking about. He says the white bike thing done all over the country. We definitely do the ghost bike here when someone gets killed by a car, where they paint one of their bikes all white and put it up at the spot. Hey, what's up, Lanky? Rusty was saying pineapple space cake is awesome. Clown Shoe makes solid beers. The only one place that I go to carries them. I used to get them when Well, when they first started distributing around here, but now there's only one place, and it's down in the valley that we stop at once at a great while. Once in a great while when we're out on a ride. How Summit was sitting out at the fire drinking a raspberry ale. Raspberry ale. Yeah, then Rick was out earlier today drinking some gluten-free beer. Is this a spot? Is it like an outdoor bar? Is that what we're looking at? I'll Google waffle stomp, but I'm not going to Google it. No, I'm not going to do an image search with that up on the screen. Oh man. A lot of different stuff comes up. I don't even know.
Jerkasaurus17 subscribed to the channel.
Yeah, thanks, Jerkasaurus17. You all need Jesus. Oh, wow. I've got the gist now. Oh, man. Sorry I asked. Even sorrier I Googled it. This was, Rusty yesterday. Pompey from Toppling Goliath. And Keith, who I also got a ride with on Sunday morning and chat with for a while, which is cool. And we're kind of from the same part of town. Where he lives now is kind of not too far from where I grew up. But the Masthead Tire Swing, which I've definitely had on the streams before. Large Marge asked me, did we hide a postcard at that brewery in Springfield last year? Some random girl sent me a photo on Instagram that had your YouTube, my Instagram, and Aaron's signature on it. Huh. Because Flavortown Brad brought a bunch of vintage postcards when we rode Ohio to Erie last year. And we filled a couple out and left them. You know where we left one, Large Marge? We left one. It was Springfield. Was that a brewery? It was a breakfast spot. But yeah, we did hide a postcard in that breakfast spot where the guy gave me the beer from a local brewery. But it wasn't actually a brewery. We had like our brunch breakfast type thing there. Rick said he was out having a beer between his gigs, like I would, I'm sure. Yep, Large Marge, you're right. That was Springfield. That's so funny that someone found it. Yeah, Pudgy, it's an old train station. That's what Large Marge is talking about. None of the we were in Springfield too early for any of the breweries to be open, and someone had mentioned how I had wanted to go to the breweries, but we were rolling through in late morning and it was too early. And the owner of that little breakfast spot right in front of the train station brought me a local beer out, and he was like, just have it. I want you to try it. So that's kind of cool. Roger's saying it's called Cohatch. Okay. It was really good. We were impressed by Springfield. We had never been there. The bike shop was super cool that we stopped in. I know I've brought this up before. Large would probably remember the name. I don't. But yeah, I took a bunch of photos in front of their flower murals and stuff because they're like have a flower history there. So then who posted this one? Broadford posted this triple Belgian style from Allagash. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, Allagash, Portland, Maine. They're pretty world renowned for some of their beers, aren't they? Oh, Pudgy said cyclotherapy is the name of the bike shop I'm trying to think of. So yeah, Roger, it was right downtown. I mean, yeah, just a couple blocks over from the train station, I believe. But we ended up hanging out and chatting in that place for a little bit, you know, which was unusual last year with COVID, to actually get to meet the bike shop people and talk to them. I think again because it was morning and an off day, maybe it was a Monday or something. I don't know. Summit the other day had a Dark Horse. Smells like a safety meeting. I've had that one. That's a good beer. What did Nicholas say? He has a homemade shandy, Bud Light, and Kirkland lemonade. Yeah, that is. Well, not the Bud Light part, but that's how they do it in Europe, right? They actually do mix the a light beer with a lager beer with a lemonade. Oh, Pudgy said John is a rad guy. I bet that's who we were talking to. It felt like at that bike shop we were talking to. Yeah, it had to be the owner, but yeah, and then there was. I'm trying to remember, there was an employee in there. I think it was a woman that someone else was chatting with, but he had one of the earliest All Cities in there. I'm trying to think of what it was. I don't know, because I was like, oh, I've never seen that in that color before. And he was like, oh, that's the first one. Or it was early, whatever it was, if it wasn't the first model of it. Summit had a Crooked Tree, unfiltered, unpasteurized from Dark Horse. Huh, I haven't seen that one from Dark Horse yet. The same place that sells clown shoes, a liquor store down in the valley, always has Dark Horse. Oh, Nicholas said it's a refreshing drink while you're digging post holes. That's kind of like a cyclist drink too. I know they used to, those homemade, kind of watering down the beer. Oh, Pudgy knows exactly what I'm talking about. He said his wife has a prototype fixed all city. That must be exactly what it was. It was sitting in the corner of the shop he was about to service it, I believe. Rick said he met 3 people today with Konas. It's a sign. Leave the Kona at home for the group ride. Yeah, I bet that had to be him. That had to be who we were chatting with. It was pretty interesting to be traveling and being able to stop in a couple bike shops, especially with Large, since he's a bike shop employee, and to hear them chat about like the things that have been going on, just especially last year with the bike shortage. It's still going to be going on. At least this year we'll be able to actually go in and all be in at once and chat. Farley's had a Zombie Dust. That's one of Aaron's favorite beers over the weekend. Then he also, what is this? Oh, a Flying Monkey Triple IPA, 10.2%. Yeah. Oh, John Francis is the name of the. Okay. Oh, this is from my Saturday night. I've talked about this before, but me and Aaron love having like a dark stout and like even like a red wine at the same time. They just go so good together. You kind of sip them back and forth. But this, we had a raspberry smoothie sour and a peanut butter chocolate porter together. And it seems like you would think it's something that might be gross to mix two beers like that, but you could literally drink them back and forth, and they just balance each other so well. And then Summit had, oh, raspberry ale. That from Dark Horse. That must be what he was finishing around his fire tonight. For the meetup ride on June 13th, Rick was asking how lame would name tags be for the ride. Um, I don't. I'm still not quite sure how big the group's going to be. If we would need something like that, um, I swear to God, I'd rather wear name tags than do like an icebreaker thing. I hate like the icebreaker. Let's go around the circle and all, but it's almost like we need to do that. Like we're not all going to know who each other is. Like even at the when I went to the Yeti ride on Sunday, I didn't necessarily know who everyone was just from their picture because people don't, you just don't look the same in a lot of unless you post a ton of photos like I probably do. But hey, what's up, Blackball? Blackball said Flying Monkey have some serious hop game, and Rusty said he wished he could make it to the group ride. Oh, Rusty's got army stuff. His wife will be in town. So. Roger mentioned the bicycle stop. He said they have a great collection of vintage racing bikes on display. Huh. Yeah, I would have. Obviously, I would have loved to see that. Again, when you're touring, you have we're kind of like we're sitting there having breakfast, being like, is there anywhere else we want to stop before we need to get the mileage we need to get in for the day? I do try and plan ahead. We do try and plan ahead for breweries and bike shops and all of that, but you know how it goes. If I back down that way, definitely would want to go check that out. Everybody wears name tags that say Keith. Like you said, we need hovering name cards like in Zwift. Lanky, I just watched right before I came on, or about a half an hour ago, your video riding the your Surly out at East Rim, and that has me really wanting to go and try East Rim even on my gravel bike because I saw where you had to walk like some of the like real gnarly rocks, but it still looks mostly pretty rideable and like plenty of bypasses. And I know Dylan and a couple of large Marge have told me that, but it was kind of nice to see exactly what it looks like and how there are the bypasses over the jumps and the drop offs and all that kind of thing. So kind of excited to do that. I guess we'll do that a week from Saturday, long as the weather holds up. So but yeah, I was like, if some of those little rock sections are so gnarly that, they're not really even that rideable on a fat bike, I'm definitely not running my gravel bike over them. And then I did see it looked a little rooty in sections, but again, with the gnarly kind of gravel we ride, I know I could slow roll that stuff if I have to. And like you said, do the long loop. The short loop is a little less fun on gravel bikes. It's amazing. I've actually never watched anyone's footage of Eastrom. I don't know what it looks like. That was the first time I've actually ever seen Eastrom. I know I could have typed that into YouTube, and I know I could have watched some mountain biker ride the whole thing, but I just never have. Yeah, we'll keep you posted, Lanky. I think that's the plan to, depending on what times people get into town. Large is working till 4, but if people are coming in earlier, we could do, there could be an earlier ride if people want to meet Large at the shop when he's getting done and he wants to ride out and meet whoever's already out riding. I think we'll drop that all in the Discord section for where I put the ride in. I think we'll all just coordinate on that. So Rusty said scared to get lost in my eyes if we meet in person. I think that's funny, Brad. You have to worry about Rusty. He was the one who was talking about how handsome you are when we pulled up his picture. So Dylan said Eastern is smooth but has tons of jumps, but you can easily just roll over them. Yeah. Rick and Rusty will be making out there. Supply. Lenky has a Sierra Nevada hazy. That's one I've seen Large drink a number of times, and I think he gave me one of those when we were actually out riding Hampton Hills, which the other mountain bike course around here. We might try to make it to both. And then Black Ball has some Left Field ice cold beer. That's such a cool logo. I think I saw that somewhere before. I don't know if it's because you posted it or not. Oh, your bike's facing the other way. For a second, I thought your Garmin mount was on backwards, and I'm like, oh no, that's your vintage Miata with the yeah, just the angle. So you got a rack on the front, huh? So I guess with the bike picks, I'll just go backwards because it's way much easier to do that. But go back through everyone's weekend, starting with the most recent photos, because that's one of the things I was interested. I've already been looking through them, obviously, but from the weekend. Oh, Large just posted a couple too from our Cleveland trip. So this was our last stop last night. Not long before sunset, we stopped off the Towpath. This is an abandoned road called Tinker's Creek, but you could ride down it still. It's just kind of overgrown on the sides. We stopped down and split a growler just to take a break. So we got Funny Brad, Molnair, and then me. And then this is the historic Coast Guard station in Cleveland. We went out here and just chilled out by the lake. It's just such a cool spot. They're building a bike bridge over there, so you'll be able to get there much easier. Then this is we out on the hiking bike trail on our way up. Oh no, this is the day before. That's Greg. So this has to be on the Towpath. Oh, this is the Towpath, yeah. Let's see. Patty said trying out the Ritchie Beacon and fresh B17 on the Y. Oh yeah, nice. That looks sweet. Black Ball noticed the 1,000 gloves. My friend was just asking me about those in the picture. The 1,000, the vintage knit ones with the leather. Oh, Lenky was saying to my photo that across the river is Riverview. Yeah, someone, one of my friends who I thought you might have known, but you didn't, Lenky, the White brother, actually messaged me and telling you about that abandoned section to go ride that sometime. And we thought we would do that, but we just kind of, it was getting late and we didn't get home till after dark anyway, so we didn't, but I want to go back and do that. Rick asked if that's a huge B17 or a tiny bike. I think it's just a wide angle shot. I'll explain, Rick, when we get to hang out, I'll explain how wide angle lenses work to you. Oh, then Robin H posted from his overnighter trip with Pixel Wolf, and Pixel Wolf dropped a number of photos in here too. But Robin was saying he was glad I told him about that website, hipcamp.com. And I don't know if you guys have checked that out yet, but we love it. I know I've talked about it on here a bunch, but it's Airbnb for camping. And like, you know, farms like this will just have a little piece of land and they'll let you camp on it. So it's really cool. So I'm glad they checked that out and went out and tested out the gear. And that's also something we've all been, a lot of us are big proponents of. If you want to do packing, do like an overnighter that's not too crazy, so you get out and check out how your setup works first before you would go and do a multi-day thing. But yeah, this is Robin H's photo here too. Oh, so that must be Pixel Wolf's bike there because he has the Zeitgeist on the front of it. There's a couple shots Dylan posted today. Pudgy said every time I reference White Brothers, he's thinking 90s mountain bike suspension. Yeah, we'll have a whole focal length tutorial. Ooh, some chocolate ice cream. Some Blair Witch situation going on there, clearly. Does that reference work anymore? Do you have to be like a certain age to understand the Blair Witch reference or not? I don't know if I don't think I could make that. I think I'd be too, like how narrow that is. I would be too worried about concentrating and all over the place. This is Nicholas working on the Surly. Which one is this? I didn't have a chance to read the details. Oh, the Bridge Club. Oh, that's right. He was worried if the stem wasn't fitting right. I like those Bridge Clubs in all black. Surly's done a lot of bikes in all black, haven't they? Aaron's Pacers in all black. They did a cross check for a number of years in all black, right? So Dylan and Pudgy, did you guys ride together at Mohican? Is that what you guys were doing on Memorial Day or Sunday? Oh shoot, I did not scroll down the texts. Pudgy doesn't think that my reference goes that far anymore. Coconut. So, Dairy Queen has coconut milk dilly bars. Nice. Go back to that Surly really quick because I'm just reading your chats about it right now. The fork is so long. Is it throwing the geometry way off? What's... Yeah, Rusty said they also do a midnight special all black. Oh, Pudgy said Dylan rode with his real friends. What? There was a photo that made me think that earlier in the weekend, I guess. Oh, then Rick had hooked up a... Oh, wow. That I didn't zoom in on that earlier when I saw it. So a hip sack to his handlebars. You get that tight enough so you don't have to worry about it sliding. Oh, I guess you have a flare in your drop, so maybe it holds it up like that. Yeah, I guess that's what is going on there, right? How does one milk a coconut? Oh, the steerer tube is so long. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, the steerer tube is really... That makes sense. Rick's bum bag, as the Brits would say. But on modern, I mean, I only have 2 bikes with modern headsets, right? But you're supposed to have to cut it, right? You cut it down to the length you want it to. Yeah, because the fork on Aaron's crust had a steerer that was like, I swear to God, like a 1.5 feet long. Rick said totally secure. He likes things that do double duty. So do I agree. I mean, yeah, if you, one, it needs to be secure because I don't want to mess with stuff when I'm riding. But yeah, anything that you could use for more than one thing is great. These were Rusty's photos. Krampusing at Brown's Ranch. Oh, Krampusing. Okay, he's got the Krampus. I got it. I was trying to read that like it was a place name that I didn't understand. Wow, that looks so cool. Oh, that's what you meant with the yeah, single speed rides, huh? Oh, the cactuses are flowering at the top right now. If you don't know, I love that kind of stuff. I have a bunch of succulents and cactuses, little cactuses on the other side. And I used to have a ton before I moved here that I just couldn't bring. And but I used to divide them and grow more and do all that kind of nerdy stuff. So I love that. Wow, that is so rad. Big man on Krampus. That's a great. I'm sure other people have made that joke, but it's still great. Now the bike stun combination. Oh, that's the official state flower of Arizona. Nice. I don't know if Rick saw the question about. Was there an answer to that? Blackball asked, "How wide are those bars with the hip sack?" That's what he says. Oh, crested seguros are extremely rare, and it's unknown what causes the crest formation at the top. This is only the only one he's ever seen. Wait, this is the only double crested one I've ever seen. Probably only 3 or 4 of the regular ones. Oh, that's awesome. I need to close some of these tabs. I'll lose track of where I'm at. Oh, yeah. Rusty's just typing what I was just reading in his caption. But Obsolescence says he used a horizontal bandsaw to chop the stem. I think, in general, the way to use it is a pipe, like a, what do you call the tool that you cut a pipe with? Because that's going to give you the straightest, cleanest line. But yeah, if you're using a well-made bandsaw, I'm sure it works. Cactus flowers make you trip balls. I think you're talking about the insides of San Pedro cactuses. Here's Farley's photo. Where's? Oh yeah, on the trek. That's right. That's what Farley has. That trek. And David was out on his canyon. Because he has a couple road bikes too, right? Is this the Grail? Yeah, that's. I think it's the Grail, isn't it? can't tell from that angle, but I think it's that double handlebar. Two front chain rings, like the good Lord intended. This is Summit out on some, looks like some dirt construction site. Oh, new housing development, perhaps, by looking at the background. Yeah, that State is what he was riding when I was chatting with him on Sunday. Dylan said a hacksaw with the guide is the official way. Pipe cutter adds a lip that isn't the best to put a star nut in. Also adds a lip on the outside and makes it harder to slide the stem on. Oh, interesting. Huh. I always assumed that was the way you're supposed to do it, but I've never, well, again, modern bike stuff on a certain level of stuff you shouldn't ask my advice on because I've never had to cut a stem on a modern bike because my Raleigh Otis already had it to the length that worked for me, and my Trek mountain bike, it was a complete, I don't even remember like that, anything about that. So and Pudgy said carbon, you can't use a rotary, which wouldn't surprise me on carbon, but yeah. Al Lanky said David had some ridiculous Insta stories. Yeah, I checked those out too. Yeah, fording rivers and all that. Someone said that he was on Clark Mill Road in the photo I had up there. Rusty. don't aren't all your pictures with a girlfriend, Rusty? Got a fly in here. I had my door open half the day. Oh, this is a Dylan shot. That's pretty rad. From 2 days ago. Well, today's the 1st. How many days in May? Yesterday. And then Jay Dandy at the Moon Tower. That's where we always go for our little beer break. Oh, some new graffiti out there again since the last time I was out there. It's always changing, but oh, so Large Marge says they do both at the shop. With the pipe cutter, we definitely have to file down the outside and inside of the steer real good. Oh yeah, Rusty's married, not his girlfriend, his wife. Lanky says he thinks he photoshopped the ground out from under him. That's this photo. Yeah, this is the. If I didn't have this up, I can't remember now. The Moon Tower photo. I was talking about the graffiti. Yeah, I thought Yonda on a metal steer, not a obvious. I mean, I don't know anything about carbon steers, but I thought I've seen him use the pipe cutter, and that's probably where I got the idea from. Rick is asking for his Rusty. Oh, did I get some buffering in there? Oh, let me know if there's any problem with the stream. YouTube gave me a error code for there for a second. Everything else looks normal. That always throws me off, sorry. So Rick was asking 30 or 32 chainring for the group ride. I wouldn't, man, I always ride a double, and none of mine are 32 or 30s. The smallest I think I have is a 32, and I'll be on my, so I'll be, no, a 34. So my easiest gear will be 34, 32. So either way, you'll be fine. Oh, Jay Danny doing a gravel climb. Didn't he do a super long bike ride? Oh, yeah, he was out to Cleveland. Oh, there's a couple Keith photos. I don't know where that mural is because he said he was exploring in Akron. I haven't seen that yet, surprisingly. All the numbers coming through for the chainring. Brick just pushed the electric assist. Oh, gotta sneeze. Excuse me. That's not Keith. Jay Dandy up by the lake. Where's this shot? Oh, is this it's over by the museums in Cleveland, I believe. Yeah, Lanky, there's a lot of good graffiti around here, for sure. I was looking at this earlier too. This is Dave's other bike. It's a Salsa. I haven't actually seen this Salsa before. Is it just a slightly older one? Salsa more of a road bike? Oh, Lanky said Wade Oval. That's what I was trying to figure out. Yeah. Yeah, Wade Oval over there by all the museums, for sure. Electric tandem recumbent. Oh, you said they don't make that bike anymore. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is the bike that some Perry was messing around with. It's pretty cool looking too. Oh, I was wondering about that. Large March just said that. Get it up here. David's bike is the Colossal. So Colossal, or is that a mistype? Colossal, whatever. Colossal, whatever. But yeah, Yonda's selling one right now in the shop. Yeah, it's all orange. Yonda's all orange one. I gotta say, I like the look of a little better, but both are still pretty cool bikes. Just the clearance just is a little bit too small. But I think what they fit 30s, I believe. Oh, Rusty. Oh, is it almost 10 o'clock? Yeah, just about time for the pedal break. Colossal is the name of the bike. Oh, then Neil. I also got to hang out with Neil a bit on the group ride. We chatted at the Yeti ride for a while. That's one of his shots. Images, if you will. And Dylan on the Niner with the trailer. Some people have asked about the trailer, I know. That's a serious bag on the front, too. I can't remember what that is. Oh, with the 2 feed bags? Nice. Whoops. Oh, then Baron with his restored Peugeot. I think that's a U08, I believe, right? Looks nice, total classic. That's what my friend Wes rides, or used to ride, a yellow version of that. When I got back into cycling, that's what he was always on. Little more modern version, I think, because that has wing nuts on the hubs. How Pudgy was saying about the other bike, the Salsa, that it is a true road bike, for sure. It's just hard, and you know what? It's funny. It's just like, and you guys know I like vintage road bikes, but it gets harder as like the clearance is smaller, even on some really nice bikes. I just don't want. I'm not interested, and I'm not that I was gonna. I have the money to buy Yonda's bike, anyways, but I'm like, and if I can't fit at least 32s, no way. But I'd still even rather have a lot wider than that, even on a road bike, you know. So, give him the heater. All right, yeah, let's do the recumbent reverse tricycle things. They're better than cars and bikes put together. I passed someone on one of those. Oh, me and Aaron and Ben did on the way to Cleveland. Yeah. Hey, let me clean up my browser window, and then we'll do the break. All right. Be right back. Smoke them if you got them. Hey, we are going to take a quick break right now. Grab yourself a drink, hit the restroom, smoke them if you got them. But first off, we do want to thank the members. On a small YouTube channel like this, the channel members really make a difference. They make it so we could do this with the frequency I like to do it and the quality I like to bring to the videos. It helps out a lot. So I appreciate the members. We have a few different levels, and you can check out that link in the chat right now or in the description of this video. Also, you know, I know everybody has all kinds of little ways they get nickel and dime these days with subscriptions. So if you can't help financially, that's no problem. Go ahead and hit the like button right now. Let's bump this channel up in the algorithm a little bit. So we'll be back shortly. And one more time, thank you, channel members whose name you see on screen right now. I want a tuna boat. I'll give me tuna boat. That members video is fantastic. Yeah, what did it get down to? It was like, yeah, 50 something when we were on Saturday. I mean, it was low 50s, but it was definitely not snow. I need to burn this pedal brake video. Oh, Mulk dropped a photo in here just a minute ago. Out dad biking, he said. That's a great color, too, right there on the straggler. Oh, Rick said he saw this on the street today completely unchained. Huh. Like a Bianchi city bike, huh? Bianchi. Rusty said, oh, like you said, he was searching for music recently. I'm pretty sure he found the pedal brake song. But Rusty was saying, here's the deal. We are considering relocating. Where's the best place for not owning a car and having access to nature? But, well, Pudgy, you could say Maine. Um, could someone put up with a Maine winter and not have an automobile? That's my problem in Ohio. It depends on what you have to do. Because my problem here is I need to get like sometimes a carload of gear from A to B. And if it wasn't for that, I think I could deal with like riding in the winter to get to my shoots. It would take toughening up and being like, okay, you got to do this no matter what. But anywhere where it's really cold and snows a lot, how practical is not having a car if you've got to get to work with stuff, you know? Dylan says Bend, Oregon. There's someone said Portland. We're talking about Maine, but I'm thinking Lanky is probably talking about Portland out west. But again, there it rains all the time. I would almost rather have winter than a lot of rain. Like I've mentioned on the show before, I don't like rain. I don't like to ride in rain. I'd rather be outside in snow than in like a 50-degree rain. So I don't know how cold it gets in Portland though, but I did, yeah, like I said, I dated a woman. My first girlfriend was from Portland, Maine, though, and the photos looked beautiful. But they like this. They like their city. They like Portland, Maine better in the winter and spring because it became a tourist town in the summer. From what she told me, I've never been. So, Lanky says Boulder. I have been to Boulder, Colorado, but that was so long ago. Summer of 2001, actually. So, Colorado Springs. Robin said Bentonville, which I know a number of people who would absolutely second Bentonville as a mountain biker. But, like, who was I just talking to was saying, like, the trails will take you to the places you need to go. Like, you could literally mountain bike into the city and into work. But you said Akron and bum rides from Tim. Europe. Yeah, Rick has the right spot. Europe. Pudgy said Chillicothe, or we could say with traveling, if you guys have watched Traveling Through this video, all his different pronunciations, which of course he's not from Ohio, so how would he know? Chillicothe. Dylan said Bentonville is out. They just passed some insanely discriminatory legislation. Well, it's the South, of course. But Xenia, yeah, Xenia is super bike friendly, and you can go in a bunch of different directions. Lanky is the second on Europe. I can't remember, Rusty. Do you work from home? Could you work anywhere? So Prineville, Broadford. What state is that in? I haven't heard of that city. He said pretty awesome and cheaper, further from the west side. Mechanicsburg. Pudgy, no one's ever heard of that. Traveling through is at 990. Oh, 10 away. Nice. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not going to get into politics. It's just so obvious and stupid what they're doing down there. But Prineville is in Oregon. Okay, so you were talking about it. Yeah. Piggybacking off that. Silver City, New Mexico. West Liberty, Ohio. Oh, Rusty actually grew up near Mechanicsburg. When we were planning Ohio to Erie, which this year we're kind of doing Ohio to Erie, it's still the concept, but our route is kind of all over the place. And I was looking at Mechanicsburg because originally our route was going to take us pretty close. So I'm like, oh, we'll go through there. I didn't realize how small that actually is. Yeah, Dayton has to be super cheap. I mean, a lot of Ohio, I would say, except for Columbus, right? The cities have shrunk, and there's so much housing stock, so many beautiful historic homes that cost almost nothing. And if you're not going to be a weirdo about being like, oh, there might be that whatever racism, basically. That there's a lot of, I mean, the Midwest just has tons of great places, the Rust Belt, to live, and now that the downtowns are really coming back. Robin said Minneapolis, St. Paul, there's plenty of nature within the city and surrounding areas, but the winters are brutal. Yeah, Robin's winters, from watching him and Pixel Wolf's stories over the winter, are even rougher than ours are. So, here in Akron, like I said, you ride your bike 15 minutes. Well, I'm in the falls, but same thing. Large margins in Akron. We meet like at a mutual point, and you're in a national park. I mean, that's pretty great. But, if you need to find work, this might not be the best spot for that yet. Santa Fe, Mar-a-Lago, Rick. Mogadishu is really cheap, right? Yeah, Dylan was saying Columbus is super high. Yeah, Columbus has become like the hottest. I mean, by far for the last decade has been the hottest market in Ohio. More than a decade. Cleveland used to be the biggest city, and Cuyahoga used to be the biggest county, but Columbus and Franklin have surpassed them. So. Getting blown up over here. Yeah. It's an interesting question, and so much depends on what your situation is. I mean, Rusty said Lakewood is decent, but only if you're bending the definition of nature. Yeah, like what you're saying, Rusty. Though, again, you could get into town, and now they've extended the bike paths and bike lanes from Lakewood, and you could be down on the towpath and not that far. and not that far of a distance. Hey, what's up, Malk? We were looking at your bike photos there a minute ago. Broadford was saying he got drawn into a PA beer channel this week, and apparently there are currently 408 breweries in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Yeah, Malk, a few of us. I've done the section from Pittsburgh to Cumberland, but yeah, there's more people who are on the channel have done it than the next section to DC. So there's the Gap Trail, and then there's the CNO Trail, and apparently they're very different. So, or terrain wise, the Gap Trail is all pretty simple. CNO, I guess, if the weather gets bad, could be a little rough. So. Get these up here. So these are a few of the photos from my weekend. Like I said, I don't have our ride to Cleveland because I shot that all on film and haven't developed it yet. But this is after the Yeti ride from Dirty River. So you got Funny Brad, and then our friend Mike Maris just came back into town. He has moved to Los Angeles, but he's the guy who put in this. You can't really see it here, but if you're from the area, you know out at South Akron, there's this big sword. He installed that as guerrilla art. That's large, sitting up on top of it. My friend Greg behind me, and then Micah, who was on the live stream for the Fool's Loop, has his head in the bike triangle there. And this was the Yeti ride. Got a group shot in front of that newer mural downtown Akron. All right, see you later, Lanky. Just sell your bikes and go to work on a tuna boat. All right, Farley. Good luck, man. Yeah, I used, so it's kind of into the sun, Rick. I used my flash on full power to light this up, and then definitely brought the shadows up in Photoshop. This was Otis giving everyone the score about how the ride was going to go in front of his bike shop. Same. Everyone getting ready to roll. We went down on the abandoned inner belt in Akron. That's Large Marge taking his bike over the barrier, and then right next to him with the All City and the Peugeot colors is our good friend Andy Shermack, who we rode with forever. That's Ryan Hugh up there. He's actually the latest channel member. And is, I don't know if they're saying girlfriend yet. The woman he's been seeing, she's turned out to be a super good rider. She just bought a really nice salsa, and she's been riding a bunch too. There's Kenny from Missing Falls, channel sponsor. With his newer All City and all his nice little Chris King bits and clampers, all in the same anodized color there. That's Keith right there, and the back of Keith. I think I actually have some good photos of him. Summit Perry climbing over the barrier right there with his bike. So that's Maris on the end. Our buddy who's in town, Large Marge and Otis. Yeah, it's fun to have my nice camera out on a bike ride like this. And this is kind of a more chill group ride, so it's easier to have it with me. This one I yelled at Large Marge to do something funny. Dylan said Kenny knows how to drip a bike in the bling. Yeah, for sure. In bling. I didn't get any shots of Keith Pudgy, and I was wondering if anyone did get any shots of the tattoo because he had it hanging out there. But oh yeah, Otis had a cool idea for me to be on the ground while they went over this um, pedestrian cycling bridge over the canal. And then when I got down there and they started riding over, I realized they were completely obscured by the railing. I still like this photo, but not what was intended. So it's Buddy Shermack. Why are these not in order? It's weird how they're scrolling through really randomly. Ah, there's Keith again. There's Micah, Summit Perry. To the left of Summit Perry is Kelly. She's married to Otis, who owns the shop. Why is it showing me that's it? Why can't I scroll through more of them? I know that's not it. Yeah, this is Keith Pearson going up. This is a really, you can't tell here. This is like this old weird roller derby, roller skating thing. We're not quite sure. It's kind of an abandoned little thing right there in Akron, right off the towpath. But this climb is super steep. If you look at the bike in the background, you can kind of see how far down they are behind the guy in the mountain bikes wheels. But it must be like it's not tall, but it must be like a 20%, like just a super steep, hump. But Large said he's going to sell them at the meetup for $100 a pop. That's Kenny right there, coming over the top of that little thing. Does the guy in the red have training wheels on? No, that's the guy behind him. That's what I was talking about. There's Large Marge and Micah coming up over the top. So people went over it once, and I took a couple photos, and then I realized they were going to circle back around and keep going over. So I ran and got my flash so I could shoot into the sun like this. So this is our friend Bobbick coming up over it. But this is where I started to get my settings dialed in. There's Greg, me and Greg grew up on the same streets. We've been buddies forever, riding as Fairdale. I chatted with this guy, but I don't know who he is. Large probably does. And sorry, no offense if I don't remember your name. And he's someone who watches. And Bobbick. Our friend Mike. This is where I got the settings dialed to get the nice sun flare and the flash balanced. So anyone who knows, you point a regular camera or your phone into this scene, it's going to be a silhouette. So the flash really kind of made it something cool. But this is Otis's accountant. He's on the Surly Midnight Special. But this one came out about perfect for me, what I like in a photograph with just that cool look of the sun. I think it's the F9. Yeah. For anyone, and by anyone I mean Rick, who cares? I dropped this in the Discord. I mean, just such a cool. This came out about perfect, right? I mean, this is like all city advertisement. Oh, someone's asking about the bamboo bike guy. I can't remember either. Oh, the Fuji X100 has a leaf shutter, so you could sync at super high speed. That's nice. So to sync for this, Rick, I have to shoot this at like an aperture that I normally wouldn't want to. Like I was at like f9, f11. You know, the R5. I didn't read the stats, but I was shooting that at 120, 250, so 250th of a second. Uh, oh, there's Keith. That's a cool shot of Keith, and he's on the salsa he bought from Otis. That was one of my favorite shots from that day too. Oh, and then this is another really fun challenge up from Lock 4. This is kind of like we're supposed to walk your bike down, but we all challenged, like a lot of us trying to ride our bikes up it. Funny Brad's in second position there. That's Bobbick in the front. What's up, Pixel? So there is a jump. I'll show that. Dylan said the mounds in the back. Between those two mounds, there is a jump, and Large just posted some slow mo photos on his Instagram, so I could pull those up here in a second. There's Funny Brad making it. I think Funny Brad made it all the way up. Andy Shermack. There's Summit Perry on his way up behind Andy. Oh, there's Summit Perry. He also got the bonus. He's wearing one of the industrial gravel shirts, which was sweet. And then we got to talk. We stopped at a brewery acronym after. And again, I was so focused on just like eating my burrito and having a beer and kind of chilling out. I should have taken some photos there as well. But Otis. This is a new guy with that. I think that's a Cannondale Synapse. He actually cyclocrossed it up the stairs, as you could tell. And then that's Kelly in the background. I think that might be all I got. Oh, so you're saying he's the bamboo bike guy? The guy who also owns the bamboo bike? Pixel was saying just rolling in from a spin around the city. His cross check makes life easy. Yeah, I knew you'd love that thing. It just makes sense. And now that you tested out your gear, Pixel, like now you know you're safe to go on like a longer trip if you can, or even another overnighter. Oh, I missed the comment Rick's responding to from Malk. Uh, yeah, one of the things I wanted to do, Rick, and I kind of just got caught up in the moment of just trying to capture what I could, and then I started to bounce the flash with the sun. I wanted to do some streaky stuff, like how you could do that with the flash. Drag a shutter like you do when you're watching a rock band or something. But I didn't end up doing it, which is how it goes. And also, I'm out riding my bike, and you've got to, like you said, you got your flash. I run my flashes in a different bag. It's not my normal camera setup, so I'm still pretty happy that I got what I did. So. Yeah, that mural's amazing. They just put it in last summer or last fall. Oh, Pixel, that's so good to hear. I mean, yeah, awesome. Oh, Pudgy recommended the book he was bringing up there in his last comment. He said, "Not to sound too hippy dippy." That's the phrase I like my mom used to say. Um, some more confident in bike packing and camping. That's awesome, man. I guess I got to read that book. I should write that down. Rick said he somewhat hates shooting while riding. Photography is work, and yeah, one of the things is shooting to a high standard. That's why it was kind of nice because this ride is pretty chill because it kind of is across skill levels and we kind of stop and talk. So it gives me a chance to pull the camera out. That's why I kind of like doing the GoPro video thing because I can do that from the bike pretty easily. I've talked about this on here too. I used to hike a lot and I always wanted my cameras and I was always trying to take good photos and I was getting up at sunrise and going out at sunset. I still like that, but it's just kind of like I have the area covered and doing that kind of stuff. But I still want a creative outlet, even though I shoot all day. And so since I ride more and more, actually like carrying the expensive cameras and DSLRs became less like something I wanted to do. And it's just really not what they're great at anyways. So making YouTube videos was kind of my new creative outlet for that kind of stuff now that I ride way more. So, but when I do have it out and you do take shots like this, it's it's pretty fun to do, you know. But again, this was all intentional. Like I knew this is what I was going to be doing that day. So, I mean, it just makes such a difference on. I know this is a live stream, so it's harder to tell. But phones are awesome, and good light phones could take great photos. But this is backlit, and with a flash, and I mean, you look at the sharpness across the scene with a wide-angle lens. A phone just still is not taking this photo. You know what I mean? Like this takes controlling the camera yourself, like controlling a decent camera yourself. Still, you know. Oh, Patrick read the book as well that Pudgy recommended. So yeah, no, Pixel and you guys were Pixel Wolf, and you guys were chatting in the Discord about quilts. I've always gone sleeping bag, so I have absolutely no opinion on the subject. If it's too hot to sleep in my sleeping bag, I sleep on top of it. So yeah, I was wondering. Me and Pixel Wolf it just was his next comment about. He would like to take things further with his shooting, and he would like to get a GoPro and edit videos. I would almost think getting a GoPro 9, the latest GoPro, and I don't know which phone you use, but if you have a good phone, might be the way to start because we've discussed, you know, upgrading cameras. Cameras, I find like, you know, an iPhone, an expensive iPhone is $1,000, right? To get a camera that I feel like Rick could chime in on this too, that I feel like is going to up your game is going to be an interchangeable lens camera, and to still have it compact enough to want to ride with. I mean, well, I don't know. Ben has what the M large Marge, who's Ben has the M15. The lens has a huge benefit, but you also, if you're going to have a bunch of lenses and a really good sensor, you're starting to get into thousands of dollars again. If you're thinking video more than photo, definitely just go GoPro, especially for action stuff and riding. The quality is not the same, but you're going to use it. You're going to actually pull it out and use it. Whereas with what I'm filming on a 5D right now that's this big, and to pull that out during a ride and use it, you're not going to use it for video. You could take amazing stills with it, but you're not going to use it for video. Like that is action. So Pudgy says he really wants to ride some street in Akron after seeing these spots, for sure. Yeah, so Pudgy, a lot of my videos from touring and stuff, I have the Canon 6D and I have a 40 millimeter pancake lens, which is still bigger than like Rick's Fuji's and a lot of modern mirrorless cameras, but it makes the camera pretty small. And I do have an adapter, and I can put the pancake lens on the R5, which makes it even a smaller package than the 6D was, because the 6D has to have a mirror box and all that. Amazing photos, but if I'm going on a 4 or 5 day tour, I'm a little nervous about bringing my R5, and not because anything's going to happen, but it's how I make my living. So, and which sounds stupid, but it's almost a $4,000 camera. So it's like, so I'm always like torn between like, good enough, but then when I want a long lens, these things drive me crazy, where it's like there's that certain look once you're a photographer you want. But that's why I think like once in a while I have to plan rides where I'm going to bring a nice camera and do the thing I want to do. But thanks, Pixel. He was complimenting the videos, so I'm all about the small package. So Malk said he was considering the Sony ZV-1. That's the one they're kind of marketing as their vlogging camera. I know I watched a couple reviews of that right when it came out, Malk. I would definitely... One thing about the GoPros you just can't beat if you care about video is that their electronic stabilization is just so top notch that the footage on starting with the 7, but especially the 8 and the 9, is just so smooth, it becomes hard to watch anything else after you see that kind of footage. And you could stabilize after the fact in Premiere, and it's pretty good, but it's not, unless you're using like a gimbal or something like that with other cameras, it's just really not gonna look like that. So it's like you take a hit in image quality, but most people are watching like this, right? Anyways, that's the size they're seeing it on. So in most good editing software is going to export it at 4K anyways, so your colors aren't perfect and a couple of those little things, but it's pretty minor. And if your scenes look cool and the action is cool, how much are you noticing the little details about the color grade and all that? So yeah, GoPros are the right tool for the job, right? One thing Rick was saying about the stills, and this is one thing that I'm so excited about. So for some reason, Photoshop, Adobe stopped supporting with acceleration the graphics card I have in this computer. It is a pain for me to drop my photos into the timeline and animate them, which I really like to do. It's often called the Ken's burn effect, where you have the photos kind of moving as you look at them. It crushes my computer right now. The GPU just can't handle it, and it's super frustrating. Like, I feel like the videos I'm making are not even what I want to make. They're close, but even in the Toledo video I just dropped, if you'll notice, like, it's like a lot like the same style Lanky does. Like, I have the animated text. By the second half, I stopped doing it. It was shutting down my computer just to drop those After Effects templates into my Premiere Pro timeline, if that means anything. I know it does to some of you. So it's basically like I'm pulling back on what I'm doing in my editing just to at least still get the video out and show what we did. I'm still getting all the clips I want and the footage I want, but the little finishing touches I can't do anymore. But so this company that I ordered through Puget Machines is amazing. They started building my computer, and they actually send photos and status updates. You know when each part goes into the computer. So I think I'm going to try and stream on Thursday, and then as I mentioned, I'm out of town next week. I'm going to bring my laptop, and if I can pull off streams from the hotel room, I'm working. It's a work trip in Louisville. I will. It's up in the air. It's going to all depend on the Wi-Fi, all that kind of stuff. But by the time I get back, I should have the new computer. I'm going to stream from this computer still, but it'll be in the basement with all the bikes in the background and stuff like that. So I'm so excited to finally be able to make the kind of videos I want to make and not compromise on them. It's super frustrating when you have an idea you want to do, like shooting with the two GoPros and having two 4K things happening at once. I just can't do it right now. Oh, Rusty's out. See you later, Rusty. Oh, Lars was talking about up in Cleveland with the Noble Beast food, which was just ridiculously amazing. Pixel, I would say get the Hero 9 still. When you're talking about price, find some busted camera. You send in like a broken camera, you get it for $350. I mean, in the photography world, that's not that much. It should last you years. They're like virtually indestructible. I would say get the latest GoPro. I mean, if you can, if you could swing it, do it. Hey, what's up, Grand Subject? How you doing? Rick said he could relate to the slow computer thing. Mine's not even that bad. It really is something where Adobe has stopped supporting certain, like my graphics card and GPU acceleration is just not working anymore. It was working 6 months ago, you know. So Patrick was saying, sorry, I'm reading too many things, that he has the 7. It's what he uses for his videos. The 7 is great, and I'm not against it. Like I wouldn't, but for the money you could save right now at this point, I think it's worth going with the latest. But Summit's out. All right, good night, Summit. Dylan's out. See you, Dylan. Yeah, there are some updates in the 8, but the 9, the difference is a little bigger. If you care about the front facing screen, which I absolutely do not care about, because if you want to hold a GoPro and point it at yourself, you're going to get yourself in the frame. I don't care about the screen. It actually eats more battery than it's worth. I have it turned off. It just shows me what the old one showed. But it has a larger sensor, so that one thing that's nice is if you're, and especially for you, Pixel Wolf, since you ride in the winter and the sun sets so early, even the 8 sucks at night, and the stabilization does not work at all at night. So you can still get some footage if you have like your headlight like on the trail or your headlight on the person you're riding with, but it's a blurry mess. Whereas the 9 actually stabilizes a little bit at night. So I find for, you know, late fall, winter, early spring, that's almost the number one benefit of the 9 over the previous models is they're usable in the dark. Like you're not going to post a whole video of riding in the dark, but if your ride ends in the dark or half of it is, there's still going to be something you can get there. So I think, yeah, Pudgy was saying pretty sure GoPro would take a, read what they want, but like I really pulled like a camera off like the bottom. Well, it's not on the screen, but like some old camera that barely worked. I mean, I think Large Marge sent in like a GoPro 2 or something like that. But I mean, you could send an old one. Yeah, so the 9 Rick, they did bump up the sensor size, which gives it that improvement at night. And then they also made it a 5K sensor. That's not so you could shoot 5K footage, even though you can. It's basically so the stabilization, that rectangle image, has even more room to move around. And they have 360 horizon leveling in that now. So you could literally like be like doing a flip and it'll keep the horizon completely center. But it's more practical for someone like a cyclist. If your bicycle handlebars, say you have flat bars with a curve and you have nowhere to put it, mount it, but on this little angle here, you can mount your GoPro at an angle and the horizon will be level, which is the practical use of it. I'm not going upside down, so. Nice, Pixel. I'd love to see you post some stuff. Plus, it's just nice to have like some footage of your rides. And Pudgy was saying the winter thing. Yeah, the 9 is actually even. Me and Large Marge were saying it feels worse than the older GoPros, but you carry extra batteries in a warm pocket. And if you're not mounting it on your bars, what I do with like the 9, I'll usually mount my 8, but then I'll tilt it backwards so it's not in the wind when it's not going in the winter. But the 9, I'll put it like on my back or something out of the wind, and that will really amazingly save the battery a lot. Grand Subject just said he picked up the 9 and he likes it. So, well, Rick, the problem with going huge on a GoPro sensor is two things. Size, obviously, they want to keep them small, and they did bump up the size from the 9 to the biggest. It's the biggest GoPro ever. The other problem is the price. So GoPro, if you think, like I said, if you think about it, a GoPro costs a quarter of what this costs. You know, it's one of the reasons I'm like, I don't want to mount this on my handlebars. This is a $1,200 piece of kit. Which is stupid, but just a fact. So, yeah, Pixel. Yeah, I'm glad you were able to stop by. Have a good night, man. But I do think the pricing is an important part of GoPro's strategy. I mean, 350. I mean, I know when I was younger and I was starting out, that would be a like it's not even something I have to think about anymore. But again, like I don't have a lens that, and this is not. It's not trying to be. I don't know what the word is, but it's what I do for a living. So my photography gear is expensive. But yeah, it's just my stuff's expensive. There's nothing that I buy for photography that's like under $1,000. So GoPros don't seem that expensive. But again, it's not a hobby. I also can pay the bills with the GoPro too. So Patty's drinking some Templeton rye. Nice. Just straight on the rocks. Yeah, with my gig next week in Louisville, the one guy, when I went in for the meeting, they were saying, he was like, well, I'd like to hit a little bit of the Bourbon Trail and get some B-roll out there. I'm like, well, this could be real dangerous. We got long, busy days. How much of the Bourbon Trail are you trying to hit? So, oh yeah, let's pull up Large Marge's. See if I could get this to be. Whoop. Let me turn down that desktop audio a little bit. Oh, there we go. So we were talking about a minute ago with the that little jump you guys noticed from the Micah really popped that up, didn't he? Yeah, Micah got some nice hair off that little jump there. So Rick said he gave up on the iPhone 12 on his bars, and Dandy asked, "Does it suck? Does it include the navigation?" I just personally, I'm like, I don't want to strap some of this ridiculously expensive to the bars, but oh, for video, Rick's saying for video it just shakes too much. There's a rumor out today that the iPhone 13 is going to come out with sensor stabilization and all in every aspect of the lineup. I don't know how well it'll be, but you would think Apple would be able to do better electronic stabilization at this point too. But and Patrick was saying on the rocks, yeah, good bourbon, good whiskey, good rye. I'd totally drink that on the rocks. Yeah. But if you shoot in the ultra wide angle, if you watch some of Large Marge's stories on Instagram and stuff like that, it could also be pretty amazing. For let's see, these are Large Marge's stories from our Cleveland ride yesterday, and this is his iPhone. Now, I don't think it's the 12; it's the 11 Pro, right? But that's handheld. That doesn't mean you can't. So you definitely get the stabilization from holding it over putting anything on your bars, whereas GoPro just excels at that, you know. That's Cleveland's super cool historic Coast Guard station. And it's crazy because like not that many people go out there. It's like dudes who have been fishing out there forever. People stop out there and kind of look around. We like sat out there and chilled for like an hour drinking a crowler, you know. Watch the boats go by and all that. Yeah, and this pier is the only way to get there. A little harbor, and then that's the Cuyahoga River mouth on the other side. But I mean, really, you don't feel like you're like this is Cleveland, you know. You think of the reputation, then you see how cool it looks. So that's Large Marge scooping me on my Instagram story. Oh, yeah, slow mo vid. Yeah, Large Marge was saying not ideal if it's rough, but you can make it look good with a steady hand. It is the iPhone 11. Yeah, if you mount an iPhone on the bars, that kind of vibration doesn't look good. But if you hold it, I even find that like if you're holding it, it does can't stabilize it enough. Keep your steady hand strong. Well, I'm gonna do one more piddle break, and then I think I'll wrap up. 10:50. Like I've been mentioning, with going out of town and having all these projects, I want to be on the ball and also to be able to keep doing this, so I can't get too far behind. So I think we will do a piddle break, then wrap it up, and then I do plan to come on Thursday. I don't know if probably a shorter one on Thursday, but we'll see. I've been kind of rolling along today, and I've got a lot more done already than I hoped to, so that's good news. But yeah. Thanks, Rick. Thanks for the damn money. Oh, you didn't hear it? Pudgy says Super Shaft, but it shows me that the desktop audio, I thought I turned it on so it's popping up and playing even during that. But I don't know how loud the volumes compete with each other, so. Yeah, let me know if that doesn't work. I thought it's supposed to pop up and still play it, but it shows it to me. So. Oh yeah, one thing I was kind of hoping Traveling Through was going to pop in tonight because I did want to, because if you haven't seen his video yet, he goes through Ohio today, like we talked towards the beginning of the stream. But the two trails he does, I have never been on. The Paint Creek Trail and the Holzer Trail, so I'm interested to check those out sometime. I thought maybe you Southern Ohio guys would know it, but Patrick said the music volume was up when the British guy spoke. Pudgy said couldn't hear it. The music kicked up. Huh, that's interesting. I wonder if it's doubling up. No, that doesn't happen because I'll have to think about that. Think about how to make that work. So the pedal brake music kicks up. Interesting with this. Yeah, don't know. Well, at least he didn't say something. I mean, it was funny, but not like the point of like a bunch of banana and emojis. But oh, sorry, I was just reading a bunch of stuff on this screen. No need to type abort large march. Huh. That's really weird to me that the piddle break music turned up, but the chat didn't go through. I'll have to research that one. All right, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. Like I said, going to come on Thursday no matter what. I was saying before I wouldn't. I'll come on no matter what. We'll chat a little bit, even if I need to keep it short. But I think I'll get my stuff done. One of the things, I want to get a couple videos from the weekend scheduled to come out while I'm out of town. I think I should be able to get a stream up on Tuesday, but who knows what it's going to be like when I'm on the road. I have no idea. I've never done anything like this, shooting a B camera on a trip. We have all kind of like file processing to deal with in the evening. I really can't imagine that we're going to work past 7 o'clock, but you know, I'm getting paid to be there. My hotel's paid for, my food's paid for. So if they want to, no big deal. So yeah. All right, Blackball. Broadford said he's spoiled with the weekly British accent. Large March says anything to drown Rick out. Hit that like button, Rick. Swear to God, man. You're going to be out here. You're going to be out here riding through the weirdest parts of Akron. The least you could do is hit the like button. So, all right, guys. Yeah, I'm going to cut it there. See you on Thursday. Couple new uploads while I'm gone. Like I said, hopefully then on Tuesday I will be able to pull off the stream from the hotel room. So it's downtown, so they said it's a nice hotel room, so I gotta assume the Wi-Fi is strong. There's no way business travelers would stay there if not, right? So peace.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this time.
Fitzwater photo.